Welcome back to Chill Feel Gaming. We are the more calm, chill gaming channel. If you're looking for a time to kind of relax, you found it. You're here, and I'm glad that you're here. You know, I'm in some comfy clothes. My dog is napping on the couch back there. We have a candle lit. I got my slippers on. I even have a warm mug of coffee. This is how I like my coffee, this color. Don't judge me, but we are here. We're ready to get into Universe Sandbox and to look at some things, which is kind of interesting. So leave a like, subscribe. I'd love to see you come back and leave a comment what you liked, what you didn't like, and let's get into it. Today, what I want to do is look at the simulation within Universe Sandbox that talks about where we are, where everything in our solar system is lined up. It's called the live view of the solar system, planets, moons, and spacecraft. And right here on the screen, you can see that today, being April 6th, at 9:51 a.m., which is exactly where I'm at right now, we are looking at the solar system, how it looks, where everything is. Here you can see the current positions of the objects in our solar system. The simulation speed is set to real time, or 1 simulation second per real second. As you can see down here, that's true. Okay, 1-to-1. So our solar system is the home of 8 planets, 4 terrestrial inner planets, and 4 giant outer planets, the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, and the trans-Neptunian objects beyond Neptune. Notable dwarf planets and other large objects include Ceres in the asteroid belt, Pluto beyond the orbit of Neptune, and Sedna on a distant and eccentric orbit. Okay, what does that mean? We're gonna find that out, Sedna. This simulation also shows 9 artificial objects currently orbiting in our solar system, including the Parker Solar Probe orbiting the Sun, Voyagers 1 and 2 out in interstellar space. Okay, we're gonna look a little bit about that too, and the Tesla Roadster. So here's where we're at, here's where everything is. And let's move back, like what is happening? Jupiter and Saturn look like fireballs. This is exciting. This is whack-a-mole. We're gonna look at that, okay. But if you guys remember, just a few videos ago, I did where the Tesla Roadster is at today, and let's see if this is how accurate, and it looks like it is. This is where we saw it was, right behind Earth, the furthest away from Mars. If you remember that video, you guys showed up for that video. Thank you. I loved the comments and the interaction. In fact, here's my favorite comment from that video. Thanks. Okay, so the Tesla Roadster is right where we predicted it would be today from that simulation when we sped forward to today's date. Right there, perfect. Good job. Good job, thanks. Okay, let's look. Okay, there's the Parker Solar Probe that's orbiting the Sun, and let's look at what's happening here. With Jupiter and Saturn, you know what it is? It's their moons, I believe. Okay, we're double clicking here. Okay, wow. Okay, so this is in real time, so we're not gonna see things spinning a whole lot. We can kick up the time here in a little bit, but you see kind of the inner moons. There's Io. Io's kind of a well-known one. What makes it more well-known than the others? I don't really know. Again, I'm pretty new at learning all of this. My son is into space, so learning things about space, I never really got into it, but I'm getting into it, and I really like it. So, but look at all these moons. How many moons does Jupiter have? I need to look this up. I should know this.
12 seconds later.
95 moons. Okay, well, I'm not gonna count them. I'm just gonna trust you. That's 95 right there? I don't know. Maybe there's like some other fragments and stuff. That seems like more than 95. Maybe not. Okay, so that's awesome. And let's go, we see what's happening in Saturn over here. Very similar thing. We're gonna zoom in here. Boom. Okay, that's cool. And okay, so we'll come back here because we'll speed up time once we look at the other things in this solar system, how it is today. Again, this is the live view on April 6th. This is when this video is releasing, April 6th, and I've kicked it forward, and this is where we're at, April 6th. This is where everything is. Oh, we can see Voyager 2 right there, and we're gonna look at some things, okay? So we will move it up because I bet this will be interesting to speed up time and see all of these moons interacting with each other. I want to see that. Okay, so we will do that. But let's look at where everything else is. Let's get kind of an understanding of where everything is. Let's go back to Earth. Earth, here we are in relation to our immediate surroundings. So actually, we're pretty decently close to Mercury right now, and the Roadster. That's kind of the main things that are right there. Venus and Mars kind of on the other side of the sun. And so back here, Jupiter, not too far away. Saturn, kind of far away. Now, obviously, these other ones are further away. So it's amazing that telescopes can reach this far. Technology and understanding beyond my understanding, that people have figured out a way to do this and calculate this. It's beautiful. It's awesome. So here we go. We talked about Sedna. Sedna on a distant and eccentric orbit. Okay, so we see Sedna here. Boom, Sedna. It's noting that it's different than everyone else's, so let's check it out. We're gonna, okay. Sedna, you're wild, bro. What are you doing? Okay, so here's a little funny story about Sedna and my son, who is a sponge. Okay, so kids, when they are like, you know, from birth, I mean, if you think about it, from birth to like 3, they're taking everything in. They're learning a whole new language, so that by hopefully 2, 3, they're starting to put words out there and sentences together, and 4, you know, they are learning a whole new language. Have you become fluent in a new language in a period of 2 or 3 years? Not me. I mean, I know people can, but that's not really how my brain works anymore. But it did when I was a kid, when I was a baby. So he's watching a lot of YouTube videos. He likes a lot of YouTube, and we keep a close eye on that. But when he was a kid, he watched a lot of informative space videos, was super interested in it. And I'd never heard of Sedna before. And my son, at the age of two, he drew like on a piece of paper. He's like, it's Sedna. I was like, what is Sedna? At 2.5 about, he goes, it's a dwarf planet candidate, you know, in his 2.5, not that articulate, 2.5, right? It's a dwarf planet candidate. I don't even know what that is, but it's a dwarf planet that could be an object in the solar system that could be considered someday a dwarf planet. It is a candidate to be a dwarf planet. That's what Sedna is. So here we go. Sedna is just on its way around, in orbit though. And then, oh, here's Voyager 1. Let's look at this. Voyager 1 is just on its way out. It's saying, see you later. We saw in the description, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 out in interstellar space. Okay, they've gone interstellar, or they're planning on going interstellar. There's Voyager 2. Okay, cool. So here's what I find interesting and helpful, and how I think we can relate it to our own lives, which is what this channel does. You know, we go a little introspective, and we take a video game and we find elements that hold true to our own lives, and we go a little deeper. If you're interested in having a more enlightened gaming experience, you're in the right place. And so when I look at this is a map. This is a live view map of where things are. And when we look at our own lives, we can do the same. In fact, it's a common term used in like self-development workshops and people who are working to improve themselves. The term is personal inventory. Taking personal inventory. Okay, if you think about inventory of a store, it's just a list of things that are for sale, you know, what's out for sale, what's back in the stock room. That's your inventory, you know. Personal inventory is taking kind of an observational view of your life and figuring, you know, what's your strengths, what's your weaknesses, what do you have going on in your life right now? And the people that are around you, the things that you're involved in, taking personal inventory, mapping out the live view of your life. And when we do that, we begin to see what's in balance and what's out of balance. What has eccentric orbits, like Sedna? What is close, tight, and knit in our life? You know, the people and the things that are important to us, and also the things that we struggle with on a day-to-day basis, and the things that we are learning, the things that we are developing in our lives. And when we do that, we take personal inventory. Taking personal inventory is taking a snapshot of where you are in your life right now. And why that's important is, I think about it like this. Have you heard of the theory Because time travel, we don't know how to travel through time. But the theory of time travel is you can't time travel until the time machine is built. But then you can only go back in time to when the time machine was built. That's this theory of time travel, okay? So if, 2 years ago, the time machine was built, you can only go back to where it was built or it started working. Or you could go back a year ago, or you could go back 2 days ago because the time machine existed. And that is kind of true with this. Now, we can go back in time to our childhood and work through some things that happened. That is true. But to be most effective in our personal development, we have to take an ongoing personal inventory. Okay, inventory is kind of a boring word, so try to get beyond that. But you know what I mean, right? So because with technology and smarter scientists, we can reverse time here and see where the solar system was 2 months ago, 2 years ago. There's been enough recorded, there's been enough inventory, personal inventory of the solar system per se, where we can figure that out. But until we do that for ourselves, we can never truly map or chart out where we have been and how we've grown and where we want to go. It's really important to take that ongoing personal inventory. In fact, I looked up kind of a definition of personal inventory. I'm going to bring this over here. Broadly speaking, taking personal inventory is the process of taking stock of yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your goals, and maybe even your failures. It's a way to deepen your understanding of yourself and then chart a path toward improvement and growth. There it is, chart. Okay, and that's what this game is, or it's a chart. We see where things are right now. We take a live view snapshot. And that's what you do with your personal inventory. It's no small process to list out your strengths and weaknesses, your values, your goals, your failures, what you've accomplished. It's no small thing. But when we do that, we really begin to map things out and make better decisions for ourselves. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Okay, it's kind of a sad example. In kind of a community that I was involved in, I used to live in a different city, and I was a youth pastor for a while. And I had two youth students, two girls who were best friends. This is the tale of two friends. And this community, they both were born into and grew up in. And these two friends grew up, and as they became adults, graduated high school, went into their next phase of life, they began to, one girl began to take personal inventory. She saw the chart of her life, the current live view, the map of her life, and she saw things that were out of balance. Had she remained in this community, she would have crashed into something because it was out of balance. So that's another thing that personal inventory does, is say, these are the things that are out of balance, and sometimes it reveals like you're around things that are going to destroy you. You're around things that are going to crash into you and not be good for you. And what she decided to do was to be Voyager 1, okay? Voyager 1 or Voyager 2 is, I'm gonna leave this community. The longer I stay in here, the more dangerous it is for my life and who I'm going to become. The other girl, the other best friend, did not take personal inventory. And just a few weeks ago, well, she's no longer with us. Her spirit is no longer on this earth. And it was a really tragic event. And as this other friend who made the decision to leave this chaotic place that she was in, she is finding balance in another system. She is actually the next day after this one girl lost her life, she found her dream job, and she truly feels like her friend from the other side helped her, brought her peace and calm, and is bringing her success, and she's seeing her life come together. But that isn't to say that she doesn't miss her friend in the old days and the things that were good about this community. But she decided to leave because the longer she stayed here, there were things that were out of balance. And she decided to be Voyager 1 and go interstellar, which is a beautiful decision that she made based on taking personal inventory and seeing that the longer she stayed here, the more out of balance she would have become. She would have inevitably crashed into something as her friend did. And it's really sad and also really helpful to know that we can change our trajectory and we can get out of situations if we take personal inventory and become aware that this isn't helpful to us. And so I want you to kind of think about that. We're going to zoom into these moons. I told you we would. Jupiter has a ton of moons, and it seems like as life continues on, we find more moons that Jupiter has, which is just outstanding. Jupiter's so big. And we're going to speed up time, and we're going to listen. This is another thing that we do sometimes, is kind of just quiet ourselves. We listen to some calm music. I'm going to speed up time to show you how these moons interact with Jupiter, but also marvel in the fact that they have such balance that all of these moons don't crash into each other. They're in such balance with each other. And ultimately, that's what we want to find within ourselves in the things around us. And if we are out of balance, we might need to move. We might need to change location. We might need to focus on different things, find other activities to get involved in, find new friends. Sometimes that's the harsh reality, is we need new friends. So let's do that and focus on the balance of these moons and just look at this balance. And friends, I want balance for your life, and I hope you do too. And I hope you're able to kind of look at yourself in an objective way and take some personal inventory and decide what is best for you. Do you have balance? Are you where you want to be? And if you do, that's so great. If there's choices that you're making that isn't that good for your future self, maybe you need to do something. Maybe you need to make a change. And that's okay too. That's actually really good to recognize in your life. And with that, I appreciate you being here. Come on back, leave me a comment. I'll feature more comments. And I'm excited to see where this channel goes and grows. You're here at the beginning, you're here at the ground floor, and I appreciate you. Until next time, keep it chill. Bye-bye.